Hey guys and ladies, Ramsey here. Welcome to another live stream. So, what is everyone doing on Monday evening here in Texas? It is officially spring, I will tell you that, because I've been going on my runs, and I'm starting to notice that it's hard to even run around the neighborhood without stepping on a million mayflies and stuff starting to bite me. And so that's it. It's officially spring. Spring is in the air. So you will notice a little bit of a change. Hello, Rich. Thanks for being here, brother. Glad I caught you before you hit the sack. And Margie's in the house. Orifice on one arm and Master on the other. Ooh, what a name, huh? Master. I may be in the air when you have your live interview on Wednesday, though. You're just traveling all around the world, aren't you? You may notice that I pinned a coffee. And yes, I officially signed up for a coffee. Basically, I had some people who were asking me, how do you donate and stuff like that. And so for those of you who are so inclined, there it is. Or otherwise, if it's just an annoyance, just dismiss the pinned message and forget it's even there. I do think, though, that I set up a chat bot that every time someone donates, it's going to chat and say, we are this close to our goal, which is freaking hilarious because I put my goal at $1 billion so I could buy Guerlain and save perfume is what I said. So anyone who donates anything, it's going to be like, you're $999,999,990 away from your goal. So anyways, I don't know if I'm probably not technologically savvy enough to properly set up said chat bot, but I did actually give it the college try. So anyways, that's that. If you see a pinned coffee message on live streams going forward, that is why. Look at this. That's a actual YouTube donation, though. I think we'll get like a chat bot pop up if anyone gives a coffee amount. But thank you, Rich. I very much appreciate that. You know better than anyone, I have an outrageously expensive, we'll hit the pocketbook pretty hard, rare Guerlain on the way. And we also bought another rare discontinued perfume yesterday, you and I, and a third party of the vintage. What was our name? The Vintage League. That's right, part of the Vintage League. So yes, I have some stuff coming, and it is expensive. This hobby can get very expensive. It can get expensive, and there's a lot of time and energy and all that. And so I figured I would create a coffee, no expectations, but I figured I would just mention it since it is there, staring you in the face, probably pinned. Dismiss it if it bothers you. All right, so today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic. And sorry, I was did a chat bot pop up? Hey, look at that. There it is. New donation from Rich Mitch. What does it say? 1% of goal. The little shites. They were supposed to say what the goal was. They lied. Thank you, Rich. I'll give it back to you if you want, but thanks for testing it. But it's supposed to say the goal. We're not at 1% of $1 billion. I'll tell you that. But thanks, man. That is pretty funny. I actually did set up the chat bot correct. That is hilarious. But if I do get to $1 billion, I promise I will buy Guerlain from LVMH and we will save perfume together. So we are going to test some samples from Mark Sage. Who is Mark Sage, you may ask? Mark Sage is the owner, perfumer, one-man shop operator of Clandestine Laboratories, which is kind of an indie house. And Rachel very kindly sent me one of his perfumes, and I really like it. I'm going to make it my scent of the day on Wednesday when we do our interview. It's really good. And but I figured since we're going to be doing an interview with with Mark, that I should know more of his work. So today we have his sample set, or his sample set set up on clandestinelaboratories.com. which I'll leave the little link right here. Let's see, Clandestine Laboratories.com. So his sample set on clandestinelaboratories.com. You get to, actually, I should probably make that a banner, huh? Let's see. Create banner, Clandestine Laboratories.com. So on Clandestine Laboratories, it's not scrolling. Sorry, my banner creating skills are not very good. Let's try this again. Clandestine Laboratories.com. Okay, third time's a charm. There we go. All right, sweet. So yes, that is his website. And Clandestine, I want to make sure I spelled it right. Clandestine Laboratories, yes. And it's a pretty cool site, actually. But when you do a sample set, you get to pick the ones that you want. So I did. I picked the most animalic, leathery fragrances that I could find, and they're in here. So we're going to test them out today for the first time, which is very exciting because I know nothing about his work. So now at least whenever we do our interview on Wednesday, and start thinking of questions too, because I found audience questions are sometimes even better than some of the stuff that I can think up. So let's see. Clandestine Laboratories sample set. Here we come. By the way, speaking of trying new things, which I've been doing a lot of lately, so I wore my scent of the day today was actually comes with a neat little card right here. Clandestine Laboratories. It says underground fragrance. I like it. New York. Good stuff. Quality card too. So today, for the very first time, I wore a brand I've never heard of. Apparently, Guerlain is a huge fan of this brand, this house, and it's the house of Monsillage. And the perfume is called Dogon, which I had never heard of before. It was just completely luck of the draw that someone sent it to me. And Paroli, who I really trust, left me a message on the video and said, "Hey man, this is my favorite vetiver perfume of all time." And I was like, "Really?" So it obviously made the rounds. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I wouldn't have put it in the favorite vetiver fragrance of all time category, but he did say that it takes a couple wears to really unlock and understand what's going on. But I like it. It reminded me a little bit of Javoy's Incident Diplomatique, if you guys know that one. It's it is right here. Incident Diplomatique. And so I said in the video, I said since I had this, I probably wouldn't go hunt down a bottle, but apparently Galen's a big fan of this Dogon and this house in general. They're a Canadian house, Monsillage. So, and thank you to Nissan for providing me this sample, by the way. It was good I love exploring new houses for the very first time, and so this one was a winner as far as I would definitely test more from the house. I don't think I would run out and buy it, but I would test more from the house. It was good stuff. So what have you guys been wearing? What is everyone's scent of the day? Tell me what you've been wearing now that spring is officially in the air. Yes, Antonio in the house. Don't work too hard, man. Hope you're not working too hard. Thanks, man. Seriously, that was hilarious. I can't believe I set up the chat bot right. What are the odds of that? Oh, I had like a 1 in a million shot. GMG in the house. What's up, brother? Rams and Ducks look so elegant on the screen here, just by themselves. Sorry, I was writing to Mark telling him, "Hey, man, I am going to be on the live So hopefully he'll be able to tune in. That'll be cool and get my first thoughts. Yo, Ram, good evening. Scent of the night is Royal Oud. Ah, you like Royal Cedar, eh? What's your favorite creed? I did a top creed fragrance ranked video you can go check out. But if memory serves, I think I put Venezia as my favorite creed just because it's that Shalimar DNA done with, you know, creed material. Speaking of Shalimar DNA, I did a review on Papillon's Bengal Rouge. And that's a really good Shalimar DNA type perfume. I would put it up there with Venezia and, of course, Shalimar and Le Lion. You could throw that in the mix too. But Le Lion seems more kind of labdanum heavy. It has much more of that smoky labdanum leathery side of things that pop out of Le Lion. But all four of those perfumes I could interchangeably wear and kind of love them all, right? But I think I put Venezia as number one just because of how posh it smells. It's not hype. No one talks about Venezia. But from the popular ones, probably Royal Oud or maybe even Aventus. I really do like Aventus. I like the original Viking from 2017. I know it got absolutely shit on by Fragcom when it came out. But I think because it came out in that Aventus style bottle, you know, people were expecting something different than what it actually was. I like Green Irish Tweed. I like Royal Water for the heat. I like Aralfa for the heat. I like ACA Aluminum, which is a hard one to find. There's two gray caps I absolutely love. The gray caps were the EDTs. The EDTs, Creed doesn't do EDTs anymore. So all of those old gray caps are you have to basically hunt them down in the secondary market. But ACR Aluminum is one I really like, and Royal English Leather is the other one I really like. Royal English Leather is probably the best from the gray caps for my taste. It's kind of like of course, you guys know I love leather, but it's like a fresher, you know how all Creed fragrances seem to have this kind of fresh, sparkly DNA that you can kind of spray 100 times and you're never going to overspray, that kind of thing. But with kind of a orange style, like heavy leather. That's the one that Creed claimed was from 1780 or whatever it was, whatever year Creed claims that they were founded. That's the one that they claimed was made for the British King. I forget which one. But, you know, just, yeah, I mean, it's almost laughable what Rich Mitch is doing right now. He's LOLing at Creed's briefs. Dushan in the house. What's up, Dushan? Good to see you, man. There's Clandestine Laboratories website. Drakkar Noir. You know, this is about the right time of year to start wearing Drakkar Noir. The other Guy Laroche that you could wear for this time of year that gets no love is this. This is Horizon, and this is discontinued. This is a Cosmere version. It looks like it's in an aquatic bottle. And if you watched my Roja review last night, I did a late night insight, a quick hit video on Oceania, I believe it was called. And Oceania kind of falls into a similar category as something like this, or maybe Jean Patou's Voyageur, which both of these kind of look like they're going to be out and out aquatics, but then like this one, Jean Carleo ended up putting like 5 or 10 minutes of the opening. You get this cologne, and then everything else he just did fine French perfume. It's Mysore sandalwood and oak moss, and you know that classic fine French perfume masculine DNA. And it's kind of similar for this, except the ingredients aren't as high quality as the Jean Patou. But you get lots of like green touches and mossy touches and oak moss and woods. You don't get as much aquatic as you would think from the bottle. You know, sometimes I feel like some of these aquatics are more marketing than anything else. And that's kind of what I thought of Oceania yesterday, actually. I really liked it. I wouldn't give Roja $300 for it. Not when I already have a Ralpha and all these other aquatics that I could wear. But Drakkar Noir is great for this weather. I love wearing. My favorite time to wear fougères is like now to summer. I love wearing fougères in the heat. You know, stuff like Gucci Nobile. I'll pull stuff like this out for spring. in summer. And even though it has like a little bit of a heavier base, it's got some tobacco and all this other stuff in it. I think it works beautifully in the heat. I think fougères are just made for the heat, you know. Paco Rabanne Pour Homme, of course, that has more of a soapy quality, which really works beautifully in the heat. I've been asleep for like 19 of the last 24 hours. What? You've been texting me for the last 19 hours. How is that possible? What recommendations do you have for younger noses who want to get into vintage? Ooh, that's a tough one, Zen. I would probably tell you to just jump in with both feet, honestly. I would tell you there's no starter recommendation that I can give you. I mean, if I give you recommendations like stuff like this from the 90s, it's going to be completely different than what you're going to smell from the 80s, which is going to be completely different than what you're going to smell from the 70s. And every brand has their own aesthetic, you know. So if you go with Lagerfeld, you're going to get some of that, you know, powdery, ambery DNA across different fragrances from the line. And I would probably just tell you, if you have daring taste and if you kind of are willing to go out on a limb a little bit, go hunt down like the classics. I did a top 100. You could use my top 100 as like a guide. Go try to find like a vintage bottle of Bel Ami or Antas or Koros or Shalimar or, you know, Mitsuko or something like that, like the real classics. And I would say, you know, just kind of try to wear them and get to know them. And you may take to them immediately like I did, or it may take you a little while. You may have to come back to something, but just set it aside. Like if, let's say you buy yourself a vintage bottle of Koros, right? And you spray and you're like, holy shit, this Ramsey guy is out of his freaking mind. I can't believe they wear this. Don't throw it away. Don't sell it immediately. You know, put it aside and come back to it 3 months later. And if you still feel the same way, put it aside, come back to it a couple months later. And when you come back to it in 6 months or 9 months or a year, eventually you're going to get to a point where you'll understand it. You know, it's just something that I feel like you just have to kind of, the nose is an interesting thing to me because it's funny, because sometimes you'll pick up on things in different weathers or different wears, or you'll wear a fragrance for the second, third, fourth, fifth time. And it's not until maybe the third, fourth, fifth time that you actually start picking up on some of the different nuances, and your nose just kind of starts to smell things differently, you know? So I would say just go for the classics. And you know what, the way that niche or vintage prices are going nowadays, worst case scenario, absolute worst case, if you're like, a year from now, you're like, I tried it multiple times, I'm never going to be able to wear Koros, this guy's out of his mind, you'll probably just be able to sell it and make money. I mean, it's vintage perfume prices are out of this world, but that's why I think part of the reason why vintage perfume prices are out of this world are people starting to realize the absolute horrendous state of modern perfumery, what the big houses have done to these old brands, what LVMH has done, you know, to houses like Dior and Guerlain and these reputable, you know, houses that had this amazing history. And, you know, what L'Oreal did to houses like Thierry Mugler and, you know, all of these houses, Ralph Lauren, the houses that L'Oreal owns, the houses that Puig owns. I mean, the main big houses that own 90%, 95% of the perfume market. That's exactly why brands like Clandestine Laboratories have a place. That's why they're so important, I would say, because, and this is something I'm going to ask Mark is, you know, what can he bring to the table? I think I know the answer, but I would like to know kind of his view on it, is how does he see a brand like his, like Clandestine Laboratories? What can he bring to the table that now these big brands just won't do? Because, you know, what's interesting is, I'll just give you an example of part of the problem. Like, I got some decants recently because I won't buy full bottles of LVMH's. You know, to me, when I see LVMH, it doesn't matter if there's a Celine sticker. Like, it doesn't matter if you're looking at a Celine or a Guerlain. Look how close these are. I mean, you would almost think they're almost like exactly the same brand. Whoops, sorry. I guess I should show you the side with the writing, huh? But look at this. I mean, These are two different brands. Now they're both LVMH, but look what they've done. I mean, they've almost made it, they've almost like removed the brand's identity even. Like if you could see where I'm sitting right now, you can see that they use like a slightly different texture on the box, and that's it. And that's probably some big wig up high made that decision to save money. So they're like, yeah, we'll just give Guerlain this texture box, and we'll give Celine this one. But guess what? What's inside is basically the same stuff. It's LVMH. It's the same stuff that they just mix and match. If you know what Louis Vuitton has done with this line of fragrances that Jacques Cavalier is the in-house perfumer for. So Ombre Nomad, for example, is one of their biggest hits, and it's over $300 for a bottle. Nuit de Fa is one of their biggest hits. I think this is like $400 or something, $500 or something crazy. If you smell these, and these are my two favorites from the Louis Vuitton line, and I got these little 10 ml decants from a friend, right? Because I won't pay for full bottles, not from LVMH or not from Louis Vuitton, especially. And you then smell some of his other work. Like, for example, go smell what he did in Bulgari's high-end line, that those sell for 300 plus. The way that the ingredients, the way that the oud, the way that the, that Middle Eastern style kind of comes across, if I blindfolded you, you would have a very hard time picking out which one's Bulgari, which one's Louis Vuitton, which one's Guerlain. Guerlain's oud, this Oud Khol that they did, which by the way I have a review on the channel on the state of this. This is absolutely atrocious. I can't believe that this is the oud that Guerlain's going to sell for $300. Like, they've lost their damn mind, and so that's why I've gone to vintage. Because in the vintage world, nothing smells the same. Perfumers back in the day had the ability to make the decisions. They were the ones deciding. Pierre Bourdon was the one deciding what the fragrance smelled like. It wasn't some focus group. Jean-Paul Guerlain was the one deciding what Heritage or what Abbey Rouge or what Guerlain's Vetiver, or he was the one deciding what it smelled like, the perfumer. He was the artist, right? And now it's focus group to death. They've removed all, anything that offends one person that sits on the focus group, gone. Because they want to just appeal to as many people as possible, which is boring. Because you get something that's watered down, you get something that is focus group tested to death, that just, reaches the lowest common denominator. There is no more chance taking. Like, I consider Koros one of the greatest perfumes of all time. That never would have been released today. They would have never even considered it. Forget releasing it. They would have laughed Pierre Bourdon out of the building for trying to release that. It's just, it's a different world now because there's so much money at stake. That's what it comes down to. It comes down to money. And the big houses are all about money. And when you're all about money, you can't make a artistic product. You may be making a shitload of money, but you're failing miserably at the artistic side of things. So what are people doing? They're going to the vintage side of things. They're going to the indie side of things, if you want to call it that, with brands like Clandestine, Laboratories. They're going to the indie side of things with houses like houses like Russian Adam, let's say Russian Adam in the House of Riche Ladore, where you get real oud, real musk, real ambergris. It's not just, oh, well, we think we smell Mysore sandalwood, so we're going to put it in the list, knowing damn well there's no Mysore sandalwood in it, but yet they say it because they say it smells like it, sort of. They play all these bullshit games. In some of these brands like this, you know exactly what you're getting. No bullshit, right? And whenever he does a second version of a perfume, it's not just guesswork as to, oh, you don't have to get out a magnifying glass and kind of look at the bottom of the bottle and see what year it was made or what version it is, or, he tells you it's version number 1, version number 2. and that's what I've gravitated towards. I've gravitated towards vintage, and I've gravitated towards the indie side of things, whether it's, houses like this or houses like this. And I've also got more and more into oud. Oud has oud has really grown on my favorite materials to wear. Part of it is luck, because Russian Adam sent me those 50 ingredients, and inside of the 50 ingredients there were some awesome real ouds in there, Cambodian and Philippines and Vietnamese, and from Laos, and on and on and on, right? Indian, plantation, wild. I mean, there was all kind of ouds for me to explore, and that kind of set off this fascination, but also understanding of what real oud is. And also then it set off kind of this anger as to what, again, the big houses were selling and passing off to the consumer as basically a lie. I mean, calling something oud, but it's not really oud. It's like calling something a diamond that's not a diamond. They're selling you, they're not even selling you a cubic zirconia. They're selling you whatever, they're selling you a ring pop or something like that and calling it oud. So yeah, that's part of it, Zen, is there's a whole other world out there, but there's no easy place to, going into vintage isn't meant to be easy. But one thing I will tell you is, even now, years and years and years after getting into vintage perfume, there's still stuff every single day that surprises me. Like, I have a bottle of a very rare Estee Lauder perfume coming, which a certain duck is obsessed with. He says he absolutely loves it. And it's a vintage fragrance I've never smelled before, but I have such high expectations, and I paid a pretty decent amount of money for it. But I'm fairly certain I'm going to love it, because I know Rich's taste. Rich knows mine. We share a similar taste. And there are so many times, like this bottle of Wall Street, which you guys can see, it just sits right here. You can almost see it every time I do a stream. I paid $25 for this. This is an absolutely amazing fragrance. This is better than 99.9% of the trash they put out right now. By far, hands down. Not even close. I mean, the woods, the greenery, the imagery this brings to mind, the quality of the material. It's just everything about vintage fragrances, even the ones that aren't hyped. That's what's so great about being in love with vintage perfumes, is you can find things. I have a better hit ratio if I just go back to the past. Like, I'll give you another example of a friend who sent me a sample. Cullen sent me a sample of this. And this is going to be hard for you to read, but I'll read it to you. It's called Emilio Pucci. And the fragrance is called Signor Vivada. And Signor Vivada came out in 1970. Never smelled it before in my life. Never even heard of it, okay? And he sent it to me, and I sprayed it on. And I was like, holy shit, I need a bottle of this. Like, I've talked a little bit about this before, but this happens over and over and over in the vintage game, over and over and over, where I will smell something that no one talks about, no hype, no recommendations, no one points me in the direction. I'll just find something just, on YouTube, just perusing, and I'll see it's from the 80s or the 70s or, the 60s, or even the early 90s, the late 90s and early 2000s, I'm more targeted with. But some of those older vintage fragrances where, you go back to the days where even Avon had Mysore sandalwood in their creations, and the hit ratio is out of this world for me. I mean, you close your eyes and just throw a pen, throw a dart, and you have a 90+% chance hit ratio. And it's not just on the men's side either. It's on the woman's side. Stuff like Opium and Shalimar, Mitsuko and Val de Nuit, and Ma Liberté, and the list just goes on and on and on. Azure by Estee Lauder. And I mean, just some of my favorite fragrances of all time have been on the women's side as well. And some of these vintage feminine fragrances are more masculine than their masculine counterparts, than what gets passed off as masculine today, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, there's no starter kit that I would point you to. I would say just jump in and start sniffing, start smelling stuff. How's that for a rant? I'm wearing a couple Clandestine Laboratories perfumes right now. Hope the RAM has. All right, let me see what we got. Let's open this bad boy up. Let's see what we got. Rich sleeps like a bear. Yes. Duck sleeps like a bear. Don't wake the bear. Oh, that's good stuff. Scent of the Night is Cuir Intense. I got to be honest, it's the most linear artificial cloying, boring leather I own, but it also has some defects. I really like Cuir Intense. Are you talking about this one? This one, this Guerlain. Yes, I'm a sucker for leather, though. That's the thing. Know your audience. You know, that's the thing. If I say something, if I say something good about a leather, you know, I'm just, it's an easy sell for me. It's just an easy sell. This is osmanthus and leather, if memory serves. And I've also come to really like the osmanthus note. This is kind of cool. Look how his little samples come. Neato. Let's see what we got. So I sort of remember which ones I ordered. These are good samples too. So, you know what these samples remind me of? If you know the sample set for Strange Love, which is a very expensive niche brand, their sample set comes like this, and look at their samples. I think they're basically the same ones that Mark uses. Look. Or they're very, very close. Mark doesn't have the gold cap. But they're very, very close. And the sprayers on these are phenomenal compared to the shitty Xerjoff atomizers I've been playing with. So well done finding these, mate. These are good. I already like the sprayers that they come in. So this is Wendover. So we have Wendover, which, let's see. Let's see if I can pull up a note listing. Wendover, which is a 2023 release. This one just came out. This is the new one. Grass, hawthorn, leather, moss, peat, smoke, tonka bean, and wool. That sounds right up my alley. Let's see what else we got in here. I wonder if... All right, we might have to prioritize some of these because there's 4 in here. I don't know if we'll be able to try them all. There is also Assam. This is the Oud one. I think this is the Oud one. Assam. Assam is a smoky animalic fragrance, according to Parfumo. It's got Assam Oud, aldehydes, amber, bergamot, black tea, cabruva, which I don't know what type of wood that is. I'll have to do some digging on that. Cabruva. Cypriol, green pepper, Haitian vetiver, patchouli, saffron, sandalwood, and white musk. That also sounds right up my alley. And then we have, what do we have? We have Master. Here you go, Rachel. Let's start with Master. Let's start with Master, since that's the one you're wearing right now. Master. Master of Puppets, eh? Let's see. Master. This is leather, cacao, bitter orange, cedar, civet, cognac, cypress wood, frankincense, iris, jasmine, sambac, lime, lychee, Mandarin orange, oud, rose, saffron, sandalwood, tobacco, vanilla, and vetiver. My face is already smiling at that note listing. You know, there are very few fragrances that utilize the lychee note very well. This is one of them, and I absolutely love it. Sorry, Rich. We'll have to agree to disagree on this one. This is Zonka. This is a Bertrand Duchefort. Just, oh, God. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. And, you know, there's some similarities to Diamant. If you smell this and you smell Diamant, you'll kind of see, you can see like the time of Bertrand Duchefort's life that he was making Zonka. And there's a beautiful lychee note in this. There's also a beautiful lychee note in The Moon by Frederick Malle. But very, very rarely do you see an amazing lychee note. So yes, let's spray master on. Let's start there. Let me make a note so I don't forget. So master will be on the left wrist. All right, here we go. Come on, baby. I really hope I love this. Oh, it's smoky. I can smell it smoky without even bringing it to my arm. That's good so far. You know, there's something, I definitely get the animalics. I get the mixture of the oud and civet instantly. But there's something that reminds me a little bit of film noir, maybe because there's animalics in here too, and maybe it's the animalics that he uses that are kind of similar, you know, between the two. That's another question I'm going to have to ask him if I remember, is if he feels that he has like a DNA of the house, if he feels like he has like a, you know, like a Clandestine Laboratories, you know, DNA. Because instantly I got a slight hit of film noir. Now it's starting to change a little bit, and I'm starting to get more of that iris. This is very, very good. And I'm not just saying that because Mark is probably listening in the background, but this is good. I like the blend of animalics with iris. The iris to me makes a fragrance, a well done iris note kind of rounds everything out and makes it very 3D, like you can just walk into the fragrance. And then to top it off, it has this leather, this kind of animalic leather in the background. There's no note tree on his fragrances. He just kind of gives you all of the notes, kind of like Prin Lomros does. It just kind of gives you the whole notes. There's not much of a note tree. I'm definitely getting the mandarin orange and oud and civet and iris and leather. I'm not getting much of the cognac yet. I'll have to keep on sniffing, but that's good. That's good so far. Hello, Rachel. Thanks for being here. Where's that plane destination tomorrow? Start with the classics. Yeah, that's a great advice. Start with the classics for sure. Get your nose on the greats. You know, even if they offend you, even if stuff like Fahrenheit or Koros or Mitsuko is not for you, get your nose on it and then set them aside and then come back to them. Hello, Rachel. Also Antas. Oh, I mean, Antas it's the one fragrance that got on my banner on the channel. Whenever Vlad asked me, hey man, what do you want? What fragrance do you want him holding? I was like, Antas. Instantly, there's nothing else that I wanted. Even overtook Bellamy, you know. Finally be back home. Yeah, you've been out and about, huh? Hell of a trip, huh? Ram Duck indeed. We need to have a Ram Duck stream soon. Voids of Texas Cuero is sent to the day. I don't know that one, Travis. I'm not familiar with that. Thanks for being here, though. Sir Antonio. Yes. The Duck Bear. Gardenia. Ah, that's the one Eugene's missing, isn't it? I like this. This is good. Imagine like the lychee makes it seem kind of fruity. I'm not getting maybe like a slight hint of cognac, but it's not like a big liquor fragrance to my nose yet. The cognac is very carefully used, you know? I'm mostly getting the animalics mixed with the iris and that orangey mandarin orange opening with this very posh smelling sandalwood or woods, whatever woods are starting to come through now. Could be a mixture of the oud sandalwood and cypress wood, which cypress is a very underutilized note in my opinion. I'm telling you, that's the height of my technological prowess right there. A fucking chat bot. But it was supposed to say you're, this far close to your goal of 1 billion. I'm gonna have to slap that chat bot around backstage once we're done. Where'd you find that duck logo? Is that a chicken? Not savvy enough to set up Le Bot. It took me, I played with that thing way too long today. Way too long. Yes, Bengal Rouge. I knew you would be happy with that. Actually, Liz Moore's, I sent it to her and she said, wow, you must be psychic because I haven't been feeling well. I've been kind of feeling under the weather. And your review just made me feel so much better. So that's great to hear. We got to have her back on. I love Liz Moore's. Ah, yes, you're working again. Don't work too hard. Good evening, Michael. Thanks for being here. Dushan's always so professional. Dushan's going to be the greeter when we go to the Opera House. Hit the thumbs up. That's right. Lick the stream. Vintage perfume prices are out of control because of Rich Mitch, period. End of story. Rich Mitch and his merry band. This is good. I like Master. What do you make of it, Margie? Molinard Musk? I don't think I've smelled that one, Darren, but thanks for being here, man. I tried some of Darren's creations a couple streams ago. Molinard Musk. I got an insane musk fragrance today from Armando. Does anyone know this? This is Hubigance Musk Men's Cologne. And look at the back. Blended in the good old USA. How about that? This probably means that this is like a 70s or 80s bottle, is my guess. Oh, it smells so good for I think this was like a cheapie. I don't think this was expensive. I think this was like their cheaper line. I think Jovan had the license to this, if I'm not mistaken. Someone had the license, or maybe it was to compete with Jovan Musk. I can't remember, but yes, this is very, very good from smelling it. I need to wear that soon. Maybe I'll wear that as my scent of the day tomorrow. Also, Armando sent me this. Does anyone know this? This is Gymkhana by Jean Desses. This is a woman's fragrance, but it smells absolutely amazing. I can't wait to get to know this. This is one I've never smelled before. Oh, and this makes the point exactly what we were talking about earlier. Just like throw a dartboard at the vintage world and you're bound to hit somewhere amazing that you've never even heard of. Chanel Sycamore Eau de Toilette Arbaz. I'm very jealous. That is high on my to buy list, by the way. I just can't find it. Yep, Darren's in the house. I love Bengal Rouge. I love Liz Moore's work, period. Not the full bottle yet. Still living on a decant. Yeah, I don't think I'll buy a full bottle just because I love Shalimar and Le Lion and Creed's Venezia so much, but I really enjoyed wearing Bengal Rouge yesterday. Get the F out of here, Mike. Which one smells similar? And don't say the ones that are supposed to be clones of each other. Don't say that, Dracar Noir smells like Ceasars Cologne Man. Don't say it smells like Ceasars Cologne Man. This was made to smell like this. Actually, I think I prefer this. Believe it or not. You may be shocked, but if you can find the one that says Legendary Cologne Spray, which I think indicates it's an older bottle. I'm not 100% sure, but I think the ones that said Legendary Cologne Spray are the older bottles, and I am in love with this stuff. This is going to be a summer staple for me. This is a Cosmere bottle of Dracar Noir, and I think I prefer this. Believe it or not. Shocking, I know, but the hits keep coming. Man, you can't go wrong with the Papillon. There were some trends going on. There were trends, but there was so much that was so different. Oh. BR. BR. What's BR? Is that a Papillon too? Oh, Bengal Rouge. Sorry. I worked all day. Please forgive me. Yes, Liz Moore's is amazing. The way she uses iris, I don't even know. And I know Angelique doesn't get a lot of love, but the iris in Angelique is absolutely stunning. The iris in Hera, which I know she made that for her daughter's wedding and all, I would rock the piss out of Hera. It reminds me of like Liz Moore's does Dior Homme. And interestingly enough, the very first thing she said to me, because we swapped some she sent me a sample set and I sent her some vintage fragrances she hasn't smelled for a long time. She actually wanted to smell the really animalic stuff. So I sent her the vintage Koros and I sent her stuff like Furio, which is absolutely stunning. If to the Zen guy that wants to start somewhere for cheap, I think you can still get bottles of Furio on fragrancebuy.ca for $25. That is a no-brainer, my friend. This is a great place to start. You'll shock yourself. This is a shock to your system. Thomas from Early Greek says you could power the Eastern Seaboard for a month off of one bottle of Furio. I think he might be right. I sent her some Lapidus Pour Homme. I sent her some of the real animalic stuff that I could think of. And the first thing she said was, man, I need to send you some of the Ambrette that I used in Hera so you can smell it. And I was like, I would love to, because Ambrette's one of my favorite. Yeah, but they didn't smell the same, Mike. That's the thing, is all of these fragrances, even though that they used a bunch of civet and oak moss and castoreum, they all smelled different. At least to my nose, they do. These are two powerhouses, but they smell nothing alike, That's the difference now. At least to me it is. Oh yeah. She's got some bangers. My favorite is Anubis and you cheeky bastard. You know which one, eh? Yes, it's gonna be I on stream the other day, I said I was going to make out with it when it arrives, and I very well may. On stream, I'm just going to be all over it. You're going to see some tongue action. Is that the Fougere? Is that the Fougere you were telling me about? Wearing Oud Maximus. I love Oud Maximus. I love Oud Maximus Babouche, but I think I have officially turned, I've turned the page and I have accepted that my favorite out and out oud is Oud Zen. Oud Zen. I've accepted it. I used to think Oud Maximus was my favorite, but I think I've just come to the conclusion it's Oud Zen. Sent to the Night Gold Man. Oh, that is a great line right there. Didn't like this when I first smelled it, but you stuck with it and you end up turning, right? Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Gold is so good. Oh, it's so, Euro Rose was talking to me about this fragrance. He called it the impossible fragrance. He's like, this fragrance should not work. Shouldn't be. Look at the dent I made in that. It's so powdery. My wife thinks it smells like baby powder. Yes, Fets de Noël is full bottle worthy for sure. I'm with you. Yes, Dorian's Fougere is on my list. Number of bass notes is infinite, just like musical notes. It's how the composer mixes them. Yes. Wearing a mini of Etienne Eigner super fragrance for the first time, and I feel like I need to own a bottle. Not happy about the prices, though. High prices there, James. High prices indeed. But you know what? It's well worth it, my friend. It is well worth it. I was able to hunt down a couple of these 15 mils, but man, if you can find yourself a big bottle like a 50 or 100 mil, good luck. You're gonna pay for that, but it very well may be worth it for what niche prices go for nowadays. I'd almost rather have like 50 or 100 mils of this. It's so good. Dorian's Fougere, it's on the list. Hey, Interference, what's up, man? I think it was my favorite from when I tested your work, Darren. Yeah. His tester spray, great. Oh, you mean Clandestine? Yes, that's right. I love these little things. Remember how much I complained about how much I hated those regular little testers that everyone uses that just like a leprechaun just pisses all over your hand, So yes, I'm a fan of these. Okay, so we did Master, which I'm really liking, by the way. This is really good stuff. I feel like I'm getting maybe like I got a little bit of smoke when I first sprayed it and then it receded. Now I feel like I'm getting a little bit more of this smokiness, this lemony smokiness coming through. You could always amp the animalics up more in any fragrance that I'm going to wear, but I like it. I like Master. Master's good. It's good stuff. I like the way that the saffron's used too without like turning it into like this Middle East style fragrance. So this is basically, there's rose and oud in here and saffron, but it doesn't smell anything like the traditional rose oud saffron that you would think of, like if you just think about what a rose oud saffron fragrance would smell like, he's kept that kind of minimal. So it doesn't turn into, like when I tested those Xerjoffs, there were a couple that I was like, oh, this is just a fucking rose oud. Or when I tested Memo's Luxor oud from the other day for the first time from 2012, I was like, this is just a traditional like rose oud that was probably cool from a decade ago. And now it's like totally played out feeling, even though I like those fragrances, the feeling just wouldn't move me to buy a bottle nowadays. This one has the rose oud saffron, but it's intelligently done. It's done in a way where the other notes are allowed to shine, the civet and the lychee and the frankincense. I like this. This is good. The civet has a slightly, maybe like just a little bit of blue cheese quality, or maybe it's the oud, just a bit. I like it though. This is good. What other one are you wearing, Margie? If you have Master there, Ram, let me know what you think. I'm wearing, that's the one I'm testing right now. Master's a winner so far. You have the limited release ones, which are coming back soon. You guys know all about this, eh? Darren, Zonka is crazy. Don't sell it, Rich. Do not sell it. I'm telling you, stay with it, my friend. Stay with it. Thank you for the detailed info. I've noticed many modern fragrances I once enjoyed have been butchered by. That's another problem. Yes, is the reformulations. You're right. Don't sell it. Don't sell it, Rich. Where's the dreams that I've been after? CL Aid. I agree. Not super liquory. I think Master might remind me of T-Rex. Ah, that's an interesting shout, Margie. Yeah, that's a very interesting shout. I've got a 10 ml decan. I don't think I want to spray T-Rex, but you know what? Now that you say that, I think you're spot on. Almost missed it. How dare you, Allie? I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you got your overture man, by the way. Congrats. Leans a little masculine for me, though. And when you say you think it would smell nice, I think it would. I think you could wear this to the office, even with all the animalics and the oud. This is not super, it's very very buttoned up. There's very little that would stop me from pretty much wearing this anyway, anywhere. Antonio sits at the front of the class but stays quiet. Hey, Rachel, thanks for being here. Juby Man, and now Diorissimo Vintage. Diorissimo Alley Vintage. I've seen that bottle you got. Making Ram jealous of a scent I have. Lifetime achievement unlocked. Good old Bengal Rouge. You got the musk from Hubigan. I haven't tried it yet, Arbaz. I didn't even know it was a thing until it showed up today, thanks to Armando. Yeah, it has been released through 2 different brands. You're exactly right. I just can't remember what the other brand was. Dana, that must be it. It must be Dana. Light shadow of its former self. Get the Furio. Like, if you just want to go spend $25 and get an intro to some crazy vintage fragrances, you can't do better than this. It's discontinued, but these bottles are still floating around. And I love this, by the way. This is a huge ambrette, civet, like geranium rose thing. This is so tenacious. This is outrageous. If Rich was here, he would say outrageous. I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt and 4 fragrances on both arms and elbows and chest. Lapidus, Vintage Zeno, Boss No. 1, Aramis 900, and Polo. You're a walking sign for the 70s and 80s. Hey, I'll have 4 Clandestine Laboratory or maybe more fragrances on once we're done here. I did wrists, elbows, and chest, testing longevity. That's it. Do you have Orpheus in there? Let's see. I have silver. I already did master. Let me put that one up here. I've got Wendover. I've got Assam. Let me open the rest. Ashes. I have a feeling this light juice is going to be a trick. Certo. Bring out my Sicilian grandfather. Certo, ayo. It's probably Certo. Novochoc. And finally, last but definitely not least, we have Bellum. B-E-L-E-M, Bellum. So no Orpheus. Sorry, Margie. Oops, 5 fragrances. I had a feeling you'd like Master. I do like Master. There's something slightly musky about it too, but I can't pick out what it is. Maybe the civet feels slightly musky. Yes, and for the price. Like the fact you can get 100 ml for 25 bucks is outrageous. I've got a vintage decant too, so we're going to do a Furio comparison video one of these days, boys and girls, on the true vintage that has the 85 proof down here on the bottom, and the current one that doesn't, that I have. No Orpheus. I like Master 2, Silver, and Film Noir, and Certo. Okay, Rachel named a couple I've got in here, so let's try. Let's try Certo. All right, let me pull this up. So according to Parfumo, actually, before we go to Certo, let me go to Clandestine Laboratories site, and let's read about Master. Oh, no, won't let me do it. My company says it's a prohibitive site. Oh, no. Let me pull it up on my phone. Uno momento, boys and girls. Uno momento. Fragrances. Okay, so Master says Meet the Master. Has important books in his library and may have written a few himself. Iron fist in a velvet glove, steady hand at the wheel, lord of all he surveys, and always smells great doing it. Key lime, bitter orange, mandarin, cognac, lychee, rose, jasmine, sambac, vanilla, cacao, tobacco ore, saffron, frankincense, cypress wood, cedar, oud, leather, civet, vetiver, and sandalwood form a mesmerizing accord that speaks of intelligence and good breeding. Cozy and distinctive Master is all about the long, lingering dry down and is always pleasant to wear and to be around, even as it demands your absolute loyalty and submission. Resistance is futile. So I think 50 mils is 124 bucks. If I'm reading this right, 100 mils is 196. That's not bad, especially for some of the prices that we've seen lately on perfume. Perfume prices are absolutely insane. All right, let's do Certo on the right hand, right wrist. Good old Certo. Ooh, that smells very fresh. Lots of citruses and maybe like neroli orange blossom in the opening. Some greens. You gotta eat your greens. Maybe something even like slightly minty feeling. This is very posh. I think Master is more my style, but this is good so far. Smells very fresh, like you're in a forest or something. Like you're in a forest chewing gum. Roger. Rachel, I have to check if I have silver. You have tried Wendover. I don't think so. Do you like it? It's very interesting. I'm thinking. Furio is a bomb. Have 2 backup. It's amazing, isn't it? I'll spray it before bed. I love Furio. My bed is on Polo. So checking that was my other favorite. I'm rolling about the fact that it's a prohibited site. Perfect. Oh, yes. Yep, you've made it to the big time. They've blocked you. They probably just block everything, to be honest with you. Site's been flogged. That means you made it to the big time. Margie's making requests from you, Mark. You know, even though I said this one isn't my type of fragrance, it's turning into, I'm liking the dry down. These are interesting. At least anything that you can say about them is that they're well made and they're interesting. I wish Master was louder and more animalic. That's my only beef, is on his site, it actually makes the point of saying always pleasant to wear and to be around, and that it does feel pleasant. There's something respectful about it, like even though it's about the leather and the civet and oud and animalics and all that stuff, and liqueur, tobacco, that I think the iris makes it very posh. The iris makes it very posh, and this is very wearable. Actually, off of the early spray, Certo seems even bigger. Like, let's see what the notes are. Black spruce, absolute. Yes, absolutely. Spruce is such an underrated note. This is very well done, by the way. I think I'm liking it more because some of the leather is starting to come out now. Originally, it's like a blast of greens, and now that leather's starting to come out, I'm really enjoying it. This is good. This may overtake Master. So black spruce, absolute, carnation, cyclamen, green pepper, Homalomena aromatica. I don't know that one. Iris, jasmine, leather, myrrh, oak moss, patchouli, rose, rosewood. I do love rosewood. Tonkin musk, vanilla, and ylang ylang. This is good. Let's see what the site has to say about Certo. Hey, it is pronounced Certo. Certo means confident and sure in Italian, and that's what's happening here. Smooth and self-assured, its warm, deep presence fills a room with its relaxed voice without being attention-seeking or obnoxious. I do like obnoxious fragrances sometimes. This composition features a rounded, woody, peppery incense and mace-infused heart, contrasting with the mesmerizing tang of Sugand Mantri, rarely used in Western perfumery. Is that Homalomena aromatica? It must be. I'm going to look that up. What is that? Homalomena is a genus of flowering plants in the family Araceae, Southern Asia and Southwestern Pacific. Many have a strong smell of anise. I do love anise. I also really like tarragon, which can also smell like anise. The name derives apparently from a mistranslated Malayan vernacular name. Interesting. They're a genus of clump-forming evergreen perennials with mainly heart-shaped or arrowhead-shaped leaves. The flowers are tiny and without petals, enclosed in a usually greenish space hidden by the leaves. If you go to Fragrantica and just type in Homalomena and look at the picture that's right there, it'll give you a great idea of the scent. It's now that I'm smelling it further and looking at the picture, it's not just a jungle. It's like a jungle in that type of terrain that's coming to mind. But I'm really liking all of the other interplay notes that are around it. So again, there's iris, which I love iris. There is rosewood. I love rosewood. The green pepper, I don't know how that, I can't say I know what green pepper smells like, but it does smell like the pepperiness is even a little exotic here. This is very well made. I don't know if I would rush out to buy either of these, but they're very well made. Although, to be fair, Mark, you have a very tall task to impress me at a 600 bottle collection. You know, there's very little that I run out to buy anymore, but this is very well made. I like both of these. I would wear both of these. Let's put it that way. And yet they seem like they have different styles. You know what I mean? Like you can see there's something that even in film noir, the one that I've smelled and worn, there's something in all of them that I can't put my finger on it because they're all different. And yet there's something in them that reminds me of each other. It might be the ingredients themselves. Orpheus is really, really good. Didn't want to overwhelm him. I love spruce. Spruce is so underused. Certo is confident. Yeah, it is. This would be a very classic. You know, when I first sprayed, very first spray, like the first second, you know what I thought of? Ooh, this is like the classic masculines of old, like Eau Sauvage and Chanel Pour Monsieur, YSL Pour Homme, Balenciaga Ho Hang. You know, it reminded me off of very first spray of, you know, stuff like this. And then instantly it shifted to that uber green, ultra green. But now it's not just ultra green. It's still green, but it's mixing in more of the other notes that I talked about, especially that leather starting to make a little bit of an appearance, which I really like. Good stuff. Both of these are good so far. Almost missed the stream. Looking forward to your review of Gentry Jockey Club from Ariza El Legrand. Just ordered my full bottle of Chypre Mousse, you lucky dog. That's one that's been on my list as well. Chypre Mousse is one of those that, like, if I have a ranked list of kind of things that I want, and Guerlain's Metallica and Jedi are right there at the top, right? Yeah, right. My if I win the lottery bottles, Chypre Mousse is always like just a couple notches out of being like, I'm just going to go buy it territory, right? But it's also always right there. Like, I need to get a bottle. La Dule Exquise. Probably my favorite rose patchouli. Are offering unreleased scents for their discovery set. You know, Amouage did that too. When I did those Amouages, you know, the Amouage stream where I tested the new ones from 2023, those weren't released yet. And I had been sitting on those for a month. Alan Hansen sold me those, and he had them for like, and then I got them and just sat on them. Like, I didn't even realize people cared. I didn't realize they were going to be real scents. I thought they were just like, oh, here's some stuff that's not released and never will be released. So I was like, I don't really understand the point of this. And then I realized, no, they put them in the sample set early. So they probably will be released at some point. La Dule Exquise, strong. That is a strong, and not just like in, you know, sillage and performance, but that's a great fragrance. Dre Foudon in the house, getting some love. All right, let's do the next one. So far we did Master and Certo. So I want to try. Hang on, let me look at the note listing and remind myself which one I really wanted to try. So we have Bellem, which was balsamic notes, basil, bergamot, cedar, clove, guaiac wood, jasmine, laurel, lemongrass, lime, pink pepper, sea breeze, and vanilla. That looks like it's going to be another fragrance like Certo. Confident, easy to wear. Let me check Novochoc. That might be the one. Novochoc. Clandestine Laboratories. Sweet Gourmand. I don't know about that. Maybe we'll save that one. Let's see Ashes. That was not the one I was thinking. Although I do like a chocolate fragrance sometimes. But usually I like a chocolate oud. Sometimes gourmands are hard sells for me because I don't like sweet fragrances. Let's check ashes. Ashes is clover, frankincense, gardenia grass, Haitian vetiver, jasmine, patchouli, soil, and white musk. This one sounds promising. Let me pull up the others. Assam. I want to test the new one. Wendover. 2023 Wendover. Leather, hawthorn, moss, grass, peat, smoke. Yes, we have to test this one. This is right up my alley from the note listing. All right, let's see. We're going to do Wendover will be left arm. All right, let's do this. Come on, Wendover. That is barbecue smoke right off of first. Peppery smoke. You know what this smells like? Just right off of first sniff. It smells like a Comme des Garçons. I tested a Comme des Garçons fragrance called Black. It was called Black just within the last month. I don't have a bottle. I just did an early impression off a decant that someone sent me. And this has this you know how Comme des Garçons has that little bit of like strangeness to it, almost like the smoke and incense and pepper that you're smelling was like wrapped up in aluminum foil and like thrown into the 100-degree garage for like a month in the middle of summer, and then you took it out and it like transformed, like being in the heat like changed its chemical molecule. And that's kind of what Black smelled like to me. Like it smelled like it became like a new, like something new, like some unknown chemical on the something no one's ever discovered. There's a little bit of this Comme des Garçons strangeness here, which I really like. Wendover, interesting. Gives me anxiety when people blind buy because they're the only ones who are disappointed. So I don't want to release fragrances people haven't had a chance to wear. That's fair. That's fair. I thought it was the nerve agent. It is, isn't it? I was going to say that, but I didn't want it to be in bad taste. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure some people were poisoned with that recently. So many to sniff. Thanks for being here, Margie. That's the truth of every frag head. So many to sniff, so little time. Okay, I really like Wendover too. But again, leather, smoke, moss, peat. So it has a little bit of this soily aspect. It's nowhere near as soily as something like, let's say, Amouage Figment Man. This is like the soil fragrance. You know, it's nowhere near as earthy. It's nowhere near as earthy as Figment Man. But there is a little bit of this earthy quality, almost like the earthiness is coming from vetiver. You know, you ever had like a really earthy vetiver smell where you pull it out of the ground and you get like the dirt and everything that comes with the roots of a plant, you know? But mostly it's smoke and pepper with just a little bit of something green and earthy kind of poking through underneath. This is very good. But I like smoke. And I like leather. I like incense. Those are easy sells for me. And so far, Everything we've smelled so far has leather. Oh, compared to the, now that I've compared all three, sometimes when you smell something like, and then you instantly smell something else, your nose picks up on different facets. Compared to the three, Masters now is coming across as like liqueur sweetness. I didn't get it at first, but after smelling Certo and then now Wendover, yeah, this has a little bit of an ambery sweetness to it. Master that I didn't pick up on at first. Very nice. To me, none of CL fragrances are disappointing. They're all interesting, innovative, and intelligent. Yes, I'm seeing that. Barbecue smoke. Comme des Garçons barbecue. Almost like you ever seen the black bottle that Comme des Garçons releases black in? Like it almost has like, or you ever seen the Bulgari black bottle that looks like a hockey puck and it has this rubber around it? Imagine you took that rubber, threw it on the barbecue grill, and took pepper and like just, shook pepper all over it and just let the pepper just burst in flames. And in the background of shaking the pepper all over the burning rubber that you threw on the grill, you can kind of smell the flowers and the greenery around the grill. Okay, so the smoke and stuff, the black smoke is coming out of your backyard. Your neighbors are probably like, what the fuck is going on back there? But you can still kind of smell the green, maybe like the dog dug up the grass or something, and there's like this, exposed earth that was recently buried, but just is now exposed for the very first time. And you're getting kind of this, buried earth hitting fresh air for the very first time, right? That's the smell. Very good. Very good stuff. I like fragrances that paint a very clear picture in my mind. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. Like go watch my review of Roja's Chypre Extraordinaire. That was a $1,750 fragrance that was just shite to me. It did not move me at all. I've worn it like 4 times trying to do a review on it. Finally, I was like, I don't know what to say about this other than it does nothing for me. And you can see Wendover like instantly painted this picture very vividly, like I could describe it. Sometimes when I can't describe it, I feel like maybe I'm not doing something right, but I'm coming to learn as I've like grown in not just the channel, but not just my nose, but also talking on the channel, that sometimes it's not me that isn't, that just, I can't describe it. It's the fragrance that just isn't moving me. And so far, every single one of these has been, paints a beautiful, vivid picture. So shout out to Mark on that one. Yeah. That's good stuff, man. You should smell as much as you can, by the way. I think if there's some like old stuff that you've never smelled before, like if you haven't smelled all the old Guerlains, get at me later and maybe I can hook you up. Maybe I can hook you up with some samples because you have to smell some of that stuff, like the all-time greats, the must sniffs. I think it would inspire you. That's what I thought. It is interesting. I like it. How do you not blind buy vintage perfumes without How do you not blind buy vintage perfumes without connections? How do you not blind buy vintage perfumes without connections? Miniatures, yes. That's right. And what was great about the minis back in the day is they were like miniatures of the actual bottle. So I'm, the good old days, miss the good old days. Yeah, very good. Yeah, this Master smells liquory, ambery, sweet now. I never got that before, but now that I'm smelling it comparing, yeah. I like all three. I like all three so far. Let's put a fourth one on. Shit, want to roll? I guess I should read the little blurb from the website. I've been remiss. Let me go back to Wendover. Oh, maybe there's not a blurb for this one because it's let me search for it. Okay, there is. England in the 1970s smelled great back when everyone burned coal in their fireplaces for heat. The smoke lingering in the earthy greenery of the countryside, an underlying warm, smoky sweetness that is unforgettable and instantly recognizable. That quality is combined here with the fresh, mossy green of hedgerows, leather woods, hawthorn, narcissus, and pastures in the rain to yield an evocative fragrance that is fairly masculine in character and performs well. It might also appeal to a woman who likes bold, woody, smoky, sweet fragrances, or to anyone who might want to smell like a smoldering hearth in a faraway cottage beneath a starlit sky. Notes include grass, hyacinth, narcissus, muguet, woods, tobacco, hawthorn, tonka, coal, smoke, peat, cypriol, castoreum, musk, and leather. Update February 5th. The new larger batch is complete and good to go, except for one material which may require substitution. Fortunately, it's not a major component, hoping to have more available within a couple of weeks. The bad news is that if this supplier has gone out of the business, then silver will have to change significantly. That's a cool update. Keep doing those. Those are keeping people informed. More information as always. I like that. That's good stuff, man. All right. This is awesome. This has been a very good blind sniffing stream so far, and we're not even done. Nice indeed. I know what you mean. I can appreciate that. Although I would counter by saying that what would I counter by saying? I would counter by saying that I know what you're saying, and I think I know what I'm trying to say, but I don't know how to say it without sounding like an idiot, other than smelling them will do you good. It's almost like saying that, you know, you're going to recreate a painting, but you've never seen one, which is not a fair comparison, but it's all I could think of. You might do everything perfect and then realize that you're doing just like if you just would have known that that's the way that paintings were actually made with paint instead of carving, like you could have been doing something completely different. You know, that's what popped into my head anyways, for having to smell some of the, as far as smelling some of the classics. But yeah, man, you gotta stick with what works for you. Everyone has their own thing. I found Wendover smells really great when it's raining. Yeah, I could see that. So FYI, I bought all my vintages, what Ram recommended blind, and I love them all. Yes, that's right. There are there's some great vintages that are, I think, even though they're outrageous, if you have a note for the daring, which I knew Allie did because she was buying amouages, that there's a ton of vintages you can go hunt down. Furio, I've been nonstop talking about stuff like you know, Devon. Get this now while you can, because apparently it's officially discontinued. So many vintages. I mean, you could just go on and on. But if you like the real animalic ones, yeah, if you like the real animalic ones, Furio, Koros, Antaeus, Givenchy Gentleman from 1974, Joint Pour Homme by Rocco Barocco, if you will. Rocco Barocco. This has been fun. I mean, this is the first outside of Film Noir, which Rachel very kindly sent me an entire bottle. This is the first time I'm getting to know these three. They're all good. I like them all so far. I want to try a couple more though. Let's do silver because Rachel was talking about silver earlier. Let's see what silver is all about. So silver is a spicy, fresh fragrance with African everlasting flower. Ooh, the immortelle note. Amber, blue lotus. That's a note that has been popping up more and more lately. I've seen, I saw Sultan Pasha use blue lotus in Sacred Scarab, and Bortnikov has used blue lotus in a couple of his creations recently. Cinemosa fragrans, green pepper again, lavender, mint, myrrh, patchouli, pine moss, pine resin, sandalwood, styrax, thyme, vetiver, and white ambergris. So silver is going to be on the right arm. And that'll only leave us two more after this. We'll have to leave a couple out, but I think I'll have a pretty good idea. See, if we would have done this interview, Mark, and I never would have done this, I don't think I would have been able to. I don't think I would have been able to do as good of an interview with you because I wouldn't have known your work. You know. I mean, we could have talked about high level, but it'll be a completely different. It'll be a completely different state of events now that I kind of know your work a little bit. That is minty in the opening. That is very minty in the opening. I like the little cinnamon type note coming through. Is that cinnamosma? Cinnamosma fragrans. What is that? It is a species of flowering plant in the family Cannelaceae. It is endemic to Madagascar, where it's known as sorrow. It's a medium-sized shrub. Traditional medicinal plant used to treat respiratory problems and gastrointestinal infections. Interesting. Never heard of it. What's it smell like? Plain medicinal. You know, I'm starting to get this curry-like note that's starting to come through, and I wonder if that's the dreaded immortelle. I say dreaded. I don't dislike immortelle, but many people do because they call it the curry plant, because sometimes it can have this curry-like vibe. And I wonder if that's the note that's starting to come through. On silver is that African everlasting flower. I like this, but I could see how this might be the most challenging to the lay person, to the average person. That's not a crazy frag head, right? I like this. I like where it's going. The minty opening was a little much for me for the first 30 seconds, but now that it's calmed down, I'm digging this. Yeah, you just gotta, that minty opening will get you. Almost like it clears your sinuses, you know? Fragrance Net has the EDP of Falbarg. That is unfortunate. Hopefully it turns up, especially if there's a bunch of rare things in there. You don't want to lose those, right? Speaking of vintages, what version of Bel Ami? Any version except for the newest one. Antas, any version with the silver sprayer. Cuir de Russie, any version. Pour Monsieur, I mean, any version really. I don't like the eau de toilette of Pour Monsieur. If you're gonna follow my taste, go for the eau de toilette concentrate from the late 80s. Either go for the eau de toilette concentrate, which is discontinued now. This one has the real oak moss in it. It does say concentrate right there. If you can't find this or you don't want to pay out of the nose for the concentrate, Mr. Inglewood, go for just the modern eau de parfum. Olivier Polge did a great job with the eau de parfum. I much prefer the eau de parfum or the eau de toilette concentrate, which is just Chanel's way of saying eau de parfum before they said eau de parfum. From the A. These two are basically the same fragrance, just this one's the vintage. It's a little darker in color, but to me, they smell very, very similar. This just has a little more oak moss and, that kind of stuff. I'm liking what it's drying down to. I'm liking this kind of resinous. It's like a resinous, spicy bit. Now the minty green camphor-like facets are in the background. This is good. Fossil amber. What's that? Probably just their way of saying amber. Let's see what Clandestine Laboratories site has to say about silver. Hi-ho, silver. Okay, here we go. Silver, a complex minty smoky amber featuring fossilized amber. There you go. So apparently, most amber that you smell in perfume is like a combination of a perfumer's accord. So they'll use labdanum and resins and balsams to create this amber-like smell. But there actually is a fossilized amber. And they say that in order for it to be fossilized, it has to be at least like 130 million or 150 million or years old. I don't know what it is. It's on, and Russian Adam told me the story once, but I don't remember exactly how old it had to be. But there are perfumers who claim that they've actually used the real thing, but 99.9999% of the time, I think it's an accord that the perfumers used. So here it says pine resin with a secret floral heart. Ah, secret. Literally millions of years in the making, and there you go. And definitely worth the wait. The dry and distinctive primal amber has facets of mint, sorrow, African helichrysum. Not familiar with that one. Is that the immortelle? Lavender thyme, green peppercorn, blue water lily, myrrh, incense, patchouli, vetiver, pine moss, sandalwood, fossil amber, and ambergris, which is the sperm whale poop. Primal yet comfortable. Well, it's not really poop, but they do poop it out, the scientists think. Although some scientists think they erp it up, but I think it's pretty much agreed upon now that it comes out the back end of the sperm whale. Primal yet comfortable with good diffusion and a tranquil heart. It bears little resemblance to most men's cologne and can easily be worn by anyone who enjoys bold but light-bodied fragrances. Note, amber in fragrance is usually a sweet balsamic fantasy note. This isn't that kind of amber. There you go. He just basically said what I tried saying, but just stumbled all over myself. Is this the one that DS and Durga sells for like $700? Or the style that they sell for like $700? They have an amber that's like $700 that I hear is very close to this. This is good. You know, it's when it begins, you're thinking that there's no way that it's gonna end up where it is now. Just in the first whatever it is, 20 minutes. Beautiful transition from that opening to what it has become now. I really like this. I think there's a point in the transition, though, when the Immortelle is very prominent that might put some people off because it might smell kind of curry like Indian food curry. But it's being overshadowed by this beautiful myrrh and resins. So yes, very well done again. 4 for 4. There's nothing that I haven't liked so far. Yeah, that's right. Interesting for sure indeed. If that's your thing, stick to it, but you're a stronger man than I am. I'd be devouring but that's how I am anyways. I want to smell everything, which obviously you can't do, but as a frag head, your goal is to smell everything, you know? And so, yeah, you've got some serious self-control then, especially if it was like something like this where, you know, I'm like making stuff and people are wearing it. I would want to know like everything that came before me. That's a very tough thing to do. Yeah, you've got that's a good shout. Yeah, every perfume material, but you don't want to smell like the overall product. Man, that takes some serious self-control. Like being an alcoholic and working in a bar. Um like like being an alcoholic and working in a bar, man. Brutal. Even the ambery, you know, liqueur like dry down of the of Master. I like the way that so if you smell Master and then you smell Silver, you realize that that minty camphorous top note thing is still hanging on there. Like once you get to just smelling Silver, I almost feel like the amber note like kind of takes over, you know, in and of itself. Like I start to focus on that amber note, but then smelling something else and coming back to it, you realize how much of that minty green camphor like smell is still hovering above it, if you will. Very, very well done. Yeah, they're all good. They're all good indeed. Let's see what the next one is. We got 2 more. I'm out of skin space after this. So 2 more. Let's do Assam since I love oud. Let's do Assam. So this is half strength. Smoky animalic oud with black tea. Assam oud, aldehydes, amber, bergamot, black tea, cabruva, which I still have to look that up. Cypriol, green pepper again. You do like the green pepper. Haitian vetiver, patchouli, saffron, sandalwood, and white musk. Don't breathe. Don't breathe for a couple seconds. Hmm. It is it's very what's the word? Getting a lot of saffron in the opening. Like a huge hit of saffron. Resinous and like sour oud. Slightly smoky, woody. I'm getting a lot of saffron and patchouli in the opening. Like the oud is there, but it's kind of like playing peekaboo right now. What accord have you created that would be your favorite? That'll be a good question to save. Put a pin in that, Dre Fudan. If you can join our live stream on Wednesday, 4 to 4:30, depending on how fast I can get at 4 to 4:30 Central Standard Time, 5 to 5:30 Eastern Time, depending on how fast I can get out of work. Save that and ask him. Here, I'm gonna write it down too, but just in case we don't get to it, save it and ask it. That would be your favorite. Okay, good stuff. That is a large saffron opening, I'll tell you that. It literally smells like you're sticking your head in like a saffron jar with patchouli. The oud is not very yeah, they are half strength. Yeah, I could see that. That must be, is that a cost thing? Because I can imagine it's expensive to I can imagine it's expensive to do a sample. Also, though, I could imagine that it's maybe tough to judge properly if it's only half. I'm trying to imagine what this would be like if it was full strength. Are you saying like everything's reduced by 50% or just the oud? Like everything is just equally reduced by 50%, I'm guessing. Don't tempt me. I will spray the knee. I'll spray the old knee. It's usually the right knee for whatever reason that gets the work. We'll start spraying toes. Excited for the live? Me too. I'm excited for the live too. Thank God I like all this stuff. It's just a cross. It's just a cross and praying hands. Although maybe the praying hands are messed up after spraying Unique Luxury on it. I think Unique Luxury's juice was so chemically that it just it took my tattoo off. It was a Unique Luxury tattoo remover. I wish I could smell this at full strength. It's hard to get a fair judge on this. Oh, that is the worst brand. Oh my God. I'll tell you what though, I was literally laughing for days at some of those briefs. Absolute days. The fragrance will make you younger than you be. and a colonisaur. It's going to turn us into a colonisaur. And don't forget that the ingredients are sent down from God, from heaven. Oh man, that was probably the worst. I mean, I can't think of anything worse off the top of my head. I think unique luxury is the worst. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's just 50% diluted. Yeah, oud's expensive. I get that. I guess we'll talk about that on the live. I want to know about the oud more. Let's read the blurb. I think I would like it at full strength. I think I'd like it more at full strength. Let's see what the website says about Assam. Okay, an extremely limited release of a bergamot oud fragrance, the original batch of which sold out, all 16 bottles, and became something of an underground sensation. 8 bottles of the new version, which is excellent and now finished, with the addition of some seriously stinky high-grade oud oil and more saffron, quickly sold out on December 10th, and the finished stuff has been very well received. For years, this seemed impossible to remake because the original oud oil, green peppercorn, and tea materials had become unavailable. But we've since managed to source a similar oud and juice it with the stinky stuff to create something that is possibly even better. There's a lot going on here, but it fuses seamlessly into a smooth, musky, peppery bergamot amber oud accord with hints of black tea. Surprisingly clean for an oud fragrance, and also extremely long-lasting for a citrus with complex woody qualities throughout. I get that. Yes, absolutely. I think I like my oud a little bit more animalic, but this is good. Not your usual rose oud thing, nor your typical barnyard oud thing. This is an original take on oud that emphasizes its woody tea-like and ambery qualities. Yeah, I can see the tea-like qualities being emphasized for sure. Takes advantage of the fixation it provides. Notes include bergamot, soapy aldehydes, black tea, saffron, green peppercorn, cabruvia, cypriol, patchouli, amber, vetiver, Haiti, Haitian vetiver, oud Assam, sandalwood, white musks. More bottles of the same batch will be available in February, and samples are now available again. I'd only been able to complete half the batch initially before running out of new oud oil, but I've since bought a large quantity and will be making another larger batch soon. 50 mils, $196. Even that's not bad. For an oud with real oud like that, you could probably get away with bumping the price. That's good. That's good stuff. All right, last one of the 3. Which one do we want to try? Oh, definitely Novochoc, I guess. How can you say no to putting a poison on your skin? Oh, a gourmand. Here we go. Scary gourmand. Chocolatey, for sure. Chocolate cake. Yes. Powdered chocolate. No, this isn't powdered chocolate. This is chocolate cake for sure. This is Cheesecake Factory, decadent. Yeah. There's a little bit of there's a little funk underneath that chocolate. I like that. And you're right, it's not super sweet. Gourmands are totally not my thing. I mean, if I was going to wear a gourmand, I would probably just wear, you know, I'd probably just wear like Amen. Like the original, this is the original Angel Men bottle from back in the day, but this is it definitely feels like, okay, so here's the texture. Have you ever been to like Cheesecake Factory and ordered like one of their super chocolate, like whatever dumb name they call it, triple double chocolate, and it's like chocolate, 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 and you put the fork in there, and it's like you cut through the chocolate frosting that or whipped cream that's on top, then you get to the chocolate frosting of the cake, then you get to the chocolate cake itself, and when you're cutting through the chocolate frosting on the way to the chocolate cake, the cake like kind of, you can almost like see the texture of the cake being cut with the fork, and you just imagine kind of the piece of cake just falling over. That's what it smells like. But there's a slight rose floral in the background with like something slightly animalic, very, very slightly, very slightly. For a gourmand, this is good. Would I wear this? Probably not. No, it's not really my thing. But I like the fact it's not super sweet. If you were going to force me to wear a gourmand, if you were going to force me to wear a chocolate fragrance, let's put it that way, I could wear this. I could. Absolutely could. This wouldn't make me want to erp or anything. It's the super sweet gourmands that really get to me. Yeah. Yeah, just imagine like the double chocolate cake from Cheesecake Factory or something being cut, and that's kind of the texture of the chocolate in here. I like how it isn't sweet. Good. Maybe a little bit of like rose water sitting off to the side, that kind of feel. A little bit of jasmine. Parfumo says the number one note is sweet. I don't get that. I don't think it is sweet. Uh, Good stuff. Good stuff, Mark. This is good. Did I put everyone to sleep? Let's read the blurb. Let's see. So it says, combining the absolute best quality of instantaneous death by nerve agent with a dry, bitter, powdery cacao accord and a chocolatey almond tort. Novochoc is a radical departure from previous releases while also keeping the clandestine aesthetic and approach to creating fragrances that are original yet comfortably wearable and eventually familiar and uniquely comforting. However, this one is a bit stronger than the others and definitely won't be mistaken for how you actually smell unless you're super chocolatey foxy. It's not subtle, though it's fairly naturalistic. Happily, it's not sweet or cloying, and the dry down is to die for. Notes include cacao powder, chocolate almond tort, rose, jasmine, apopanax, cinnamon, tonka bean, pearl balsam, and Tonkin musk. Performance is killer. Though longevity is an extreme, wearability is in line with our other fragrances, assuming you don't overspray and enjoy chocolate, sex, and potentially knocking people dead with your dark powers. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was about to keep reading that. That is a review by an Instagram user, the Gourmand King. $124 for 50 mil. It's not bad. Not bad at all. All right, let's go back through these again. Don't worry, I like that you're here commenting. Let's go back through these again. So I'm really liking the dry down of Master. Even though when you compare the Lickery dry down seems much sweeter than all the other ones, I'm liking it. This is good. Master's a potential bottle. Let's see, Certo. I can appreciate Certo for what it is. I don't think I would want to buy it, but I think it's very well done. Something very classy. Someone said confident. There is a confidence about it for sure. Wendover. Man, Wendover is so close to Comme des Garçons Black, but it's Comme des Garçons Black doesn't seem to have the detail of Wendover, if that makes sense. So Comme des Garçons Black has all of these elements in this way. The smells are probably similar, but I don't know if Comme des Garçons Black would come up with a similar imagery. I think when I wore Comme des Garçons Black, Comme des Garçons as a house has a very interesting idea when you think about what they're trying to convey and the marketing and stuff like that. I think this is more. I think I like this better. Actually, I know I like this better than Comme des Garçons Black, but it's in the same ballpark. Like it might be overkill to own both, but it's very good. And then probably the surprise, the one I think I like the most is Silver. I think Silver's the winner. There is something very interesting about an amber accord that starts off like this. And actually, when I first smelled it, for the first 20 seconds, I was like, this is my least favorite. That mintiness was just so much. But the way that it ends up blending together with the ambers is beautiful. I've smelled a lot of ambers. I have a lot of ambers. I've got I did a top 50 or top 80 or something amber video. You can go check that out. And Ambre Sultan is my favorite amber of all time. I think this is the best amber ever created, but I've never smelled anything like this. Yeah, I've never smelled an amber like Silver. I think maybe you have to have a little advanced nose to truly appreciate Silver right away, because I think that Immortelle curry feel would put people off if they really paid close attention. They might miss it because it seems like it works as a transition, like as it's transitioning from that very camphoraceous green feeling, into the amber. I think that curry feel kind of comes out as it's transitioning. That smells really good. I really like that. If I was going to buy one, it would be Silver right now. And then the oud, I don't like the way, it's not that I don't like it, it's just that I don't prefer my ouds to be done this way. I prefer my ouds to be much more bombastic and loud and challenging. And I'm curious what this would be like at full strength. I see the tea-like and the citrusy facets. It's just not the way that I like my ouds done. And the chocolate one, the Gourmand. Again, not a Gourmand fan, but I like that it isn't super sweet. And if you were going to twist my arm and make me wear a Gourmand, I think I would wear this. I mean, I've tested a lot of Gourmands lately. Most of the chocolate that I really like is mixed with oud. So, like, for example, if you take something like Oud Monarch, or if you take something like there's an oud from Strangelove called Melt My Heart. That's like a rose oud that kind of smells like Oud Monarch, actually. And you know, usually that's how I think I prefer my chocolate is with oud, but this is probably the best just out and out chocolate. I can't say I have very many that is just a chocolate fragrance, although this is not just a chocolate, but it's not a chocolate oud, and I still like it, which is shocking. So I think this would smell amazing on a woman. Like this would smell super sexy on a woman. I could wear it. It's not my thing. So, oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure the materials are different. They just play in the same sandbox. Silver is great. Yeah, I think I want a bottle of silver. Thanks for being here and doing this. Tom Ford Absolute Opus 6. Opus 6, you're putting in the amber category. I don't know. I got to think about that one. Because Opus 6 is supposed to smell like Alberto Mordias's and Pierre Negrin's take on what oud would smell like without using any oud. But there is, of course, ambery materials in there. But yeah, I really like Opus 6. Amber Sultan, Tom Ford Amber Absolute #1. I've never smelled that. You know that, Mr. Inglewood? I would love a bottle of Amber Absolute. I just refuse to give people 500 or 600 or 800 or whatever insane amount they want for it. What's up, Abe? Thanks for being here. Belam. Yeah, Melt My Heart has that rose oud. Sorry, chocolate oud thing going. I could totally see that. 100% see that. 100% I could see the smelling amazing on a woman. Yeah. Maybe not like a work, maybe not like a wear it to work fragrance every day. That would be this would be a great like going out fragrance though, or on the weekends or something like that. This might be a little too decadent for work. People may start getting the idea that, you know, your girlfriend's the dessert wearing this though to work. There is something very underlying sexualized with this fragrance. I like it. I mean, it's not my thing, but I can objectively appreciate it. I think it'd make a great like going out fragrance. You know, like you're going to go out for a night on the town Saturday night. Perfect, absolute perfect for that. This has been a success. We didn't get a chance to try Balam and Ashes yet, but I'll give these a try. Maybe in a separate live stream. I don't know if I'll be able to squeeze another one in tomorrow, but I will certainly try. And then our interview will be Wednesday, which I'm very excited about. So you guys think up your questions. I've got some questions going right here, and so it should be a good time on Wednesday. So usually this is about the time my voice starts to give out. So I think we've had a successful first sniff. I understand the brand much better. It's been a pleasure getting to know these 6 so far. Master, Certo, Wendover, Silver, Assam, and then Novochoc. So good stuff. Thanks for sharing these, Mark. Can't wait to chat with you on Wednesday, brother. And so everyone have a good night. Lick the stream on your way out. It does help the stupid YouTube algorithm. And that's right. Rachel says time for sleep. So thanks for being here. Catch you next time. Cheers. Bye-bye.